Hello students, today we will be doing 5.2b in the purple packet. This should be page 5, and if you haven't written it down, make sure you put it at the bottom of the page, page 5, and make sure you number the other one 4, 3, 2, and go all the way through the packet, all the way to the end, okay? Now it says solve and then check your solution. I'm going to scratch out check, so you need to scratch out check and put graph. So I want your solution graphed on a number line, okay? We're going to start with number 1. The first question is, what operation is going on here, okay? I had some people quite a few miss this on the test. So it's n divided by 12. Then we ask ourselves, what is the inverse operation or the opposite of divide? And that is going to be multiply. So whatever I do over here, I do over here. And you must show your work. This is showing your work. Then you must finish the problem. Some of you didn't even finish your problem on your test. So I get n is less than, and this is why we're allowed to use handy dandy calculators here. We go 19 times 12, 228. Don't let big numbers scare you. Big deal, it's a big number, 228. Okay, there is my solution. I need to see that on your test when I say solve or solve for the variable. Then we have a number line. I'm going to put 228, and I need to decide, is it open or closed dot, and which direction do I shade? Okay, since it's just less than, less ink, open dot. Where is it pointing to? See, it's shading to the left, right? If the arrow's pointing that way, making sure the variable's on the left, we shade over here. And we're done with number 1. Okay? Number 2 is pretty straightforward here. We're going to add 6 here. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. And again, that's the opposite of subtract 6. Most of you got this right. V is greater than this type of problem on the test anyway. Negative 22 plus 6. Battle or a party? I can't hear you. That's correct. It's a battle. So we're going to put 22. You have to put the number in before the negative. Put the plus minus down here, not the subtraction sign. So we put the plus minus so that we know, and it should show up here negative 22. And then I can go plus 6, negative 16. Okay? Okay. We draw our number line. Negative 16, open or closed dot. Open, because it's not or equal to, so it's an open dot at negative 16, shaded to the right. Okay, number 3, 12a is greater than 96. Okay, so what operation is happening? When you have a number and a letter right next to each other, that is always multiplication. So the inverse operation of multiplication is division. Take our handy dandy calculator, 96 divided by 12. 8. So A is greater than or equal to 8. Here's my number line. 8. Open or close dot. Since it has or equal to, that extra line means that's part of the solution set, and we shade, it's pointing to the right. Next we go on to number 4, and we say, what is happening here? Some people are a little scared of this problem. Okay? Now, x divided by 18. So it's divide. Don't be scared of it. This just means I want to show my work times 18 here, times 18 here. So x is greater than, take our handy dandy calculator, 12 times 18, 216. Again, don't be afraid of big numbers. Open or close dot. Open dot because it's not or equal to, pointing to the right. Okay, now we're coming up to a trickster problem on number 5. A couple of things about this. First of all, the variables on the right side. And actually, I'm going to skip to 7, and we'll come back to 5, because 5 has some tricky stuff going on. So 7, the variables on the right side. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move the variable to the left side. So if you ever see any letters or variables on the right side, move them over. So we get b minus 13. You want to write it exactly like it is. Instead of less than, we have to switch the sign. And we write that exactly like it is. Okay? Now it becomes easier with the variable on the left side. I'm going to add 13 here, add 13 here. Battle or a party? Right here. It's a battle, that's correct. Negative 5 plus 13, 8. Open or close dot. Open, since it's not equal to, and it says pointing to the right. And you're done. Okay. Next, I'm going to go on to number 10. And again, I'll come back to 5 in a minute. 5 is one of the hardest ones here. So, number 10, negative 4r is less than or equal to negative 76. Many of you think that that's minus, that we're going to subtract. But no, this is negative 4 times r. Again, it's an integer right next to a letter. So that means it's got to be multiplication. There's no sign in between. It doesn't matter what's in front, doesn't matter what's behind. Since they're right next to each other, it's multiplication. So the inverse operation for multiplication, division. We got to divide by whatever's in front of r. In this case, it's a negative 4. So that becomes 1. R. Now, here's the trickster part. Whenever you divide or multiply by a negative number, you must switch the sign. So instead of less than, it's greater than. And 76 negative divided by 4 negative. 19. So r is greater than or equal to 19. Okay, graphing that, open or close dot at 19. It's going to be a closed dot since it's got that line underneath, shading to the right. And there you got it. Okay. 11 is very similar to 10. And again, there's the answer to that. If you need to pause the video, go ahead. But I'm moving on. Right here, negative 18. This is not subtract, so we do not add 18. This is the numbers right next to the letter, multiplication. So we have to divide. So it's negative 18 times a. I'm going to divide by negative 18. And that goes away, and you're left with a. Oh, I divided by a negative. I must switch this sign. 90 divided by 18. Five. And if I wanted to, I could put the negatives in, but since I know negative divided by negative is positive, I don't need to do that. Okay? All right, now my number line. 5. Open or close dot? Open dot. Shaded which way? To the left. Okay? All right. Now we're going to go back up to 5. 5 has two trickster things going on. First of all, the variable's on the right side, so I'm going to flip that over here. Negative 6k and less than or equal to negative 72. Now, I'm going to go ahead and solve for k. Again, is this subtraction or is it something else? It is something else. See the 6 and the k, nothing is in between. So that means it's multiplication. So we have to do the inverse operation, which is division. Now, when you divide by a negative, you must switch the sign. It's See how we flipped it to move it over? And we also flipped it when we divided by a negative. So 72 divided by 6, 12. So K is greater than or equal to 12. So again, I get my number line, 12, open or close dot, more ink there, more ink here, shaded to the right. Okay, this should give you some good practice. Go ahead and finish page 5 and 6. You can do this, students. You rock.